I'd be hot.
I'm pretty certain you wouldn't be.
Really?
Yeah. So
I think we should post it out to our net.
Hotness is defined by a level of nudity.
No, but
I know I've seen very beautiful dressed people, and I've seen some very ugly munters
But I
in my
think
time.
that people were distracted from her bad
Ugly munters,
presenting
yeah.
by the fact she had hardly any clothes on.
Right.
Okay, I'll
I think
definitely
if
catch
she
up
had
on it and
like
let you know my
a
opinion.
burqa on and was presenting, people would have been like, what the fuck is going on?
We're talking about Rita Ora, by the way, on the VMAs.
I'm not. I'm just listening to you guys. I have no idea what you're talking about.
You're actually still thinking about yourself naked, aren't you?
I've been a bit cold.
Popcorn Pundits.
It's quite cold.
Podcast.
Week 55. Smashing it in the bag.
All the fives.
All the fives. 55.
Two rubber ducks.
That's
Is it?
22.
No.
That's 22.
Yeah, I don't know what 55 is.
55, I think it's all the
the
fives.
reflection of two rubber ducks.
I'll have to ask my wife. She works for a bingo company. So, this is your 55th week of your Popcorn Pundits.
We're still coming.
It's like the gift that just keeps giving.
Typical male. Snakes alive.
Snakes. Oh, that's a great line. Anyway.
Snakes Alive, 55.
There you go. So, on a weekly level, we like to go to the cinema. We like to let our listeners and viewers know what we felt about the movies at the cinema. Peter likes to run down on the top 10. And we also like to find out what homework Peter's had and whether he's done it or not. Nicky, have I missed anything?
Well, you haven't really introduced us.
No, actually, that's why I was asking.
You haven't introduced us.
Would you like to introduce us?
No, Peter
Go on.
can.
This is James Michael Mokone.
Hi. Are you pointing at me in the podcast?
Yes.
Okay.
Which is on YouTube, so that works into some aspects. So he's prickly. Is he being prickly?
No.
This is Nicky Smart.
Yes, hi Nicky Smart.
Sorry, Nicky Thatcher Smart.
That's right.
That was brackets for all
And
of
you're
you.
Peter James Unger.
People listening
Yes.
to this podcast are going to love your pointing in your air quotes.
Pointing.
Well, they need to learn to watch us on YouTube.
They do.
Okay.
I think it's worth a watch.
Who
James is watching. James is wearing houndstooth trousers
I am. They're quite fetching,
and
aren't
a
they?
full button knit. I was going to go matching full button knit, but in camel. But I thought it was going to be too warm for this. But you're wearing I think that's one of those cut out
What, like
polar
in
necks.
You mean like in Big Bang Theory?
I don't know.
He
Big Bang
doesn't
Theory.
watch that.
Yeah. This is puppy tooth rather than dog tooth.
Oh, is it because it's a smaller check?
Yeah,
Smaller pattern.
exactly. I'm looking at hound tooth for a coat.
I thought you were just further away.
I mean,
Should we
maybe
just
I'm
get
just
on with this
massive.
podcast?
have we
This is-
changed to a fashion podcast?
We have done.
Maybe we
Okay,
should do
cool.
that. Maybe people listen.
Should we do the top 10? Peter,
Yeah, we
over
should.
to you for the top 10.
This
at
is
the
weird. I
cinema,
don't know
please.
many of
Peter?
these this week. Yeah.
If we did a fashion podcast, it would be about 4 hours long with this one.
Yeah. This might be 4 hours long too. We've got quite a lot of films to
Actually,
review this
go
week.
on then.
Number 10, Piece by Piece. Tell me more, Nicky Smart.
Oh, hang on, I missed that one off my
Uh-oh.
list.
Number 9, you missed your chance. Number 9, Honora. Tell us about that one, Nicky
That's the
Smart.
one I told you about last week, Peter James Unger.
Which,
So Piece by Piece is the Lego bricks one.
Oh, I've heard mixed reviews about this film. I've heard that it is visually beautiful, but it's incredibly self-indulgent from a Pharrell Williams point of view.
Are we still talking about You Naked?
Because it's
As a Lego.
Lego bricks tell the life story of singer-songwriter and record producer Pharrell Williams
Yeah.
from his childhood in Virginia to his success in music and fashion.
I do know. I think Tucker TV went to see it. I'll be chasing him for a review. If you're listening
Okay.
now, Tucker TV,
Did you see the trailer for the Robbie Williams film?
the Monkey Man thing.
What the fuck is that
yeah,
all
that
about?
was very interesting.
Have you seen
wasn't
that?
it?
I
Yeah.
haven't seen the trailer
Oh,
yet.
have a little Google on that because we need to have a chat about that.
Yeah,
later
he's
on.
going to be a monkey for the
Bridget
whole film.
Jones' trailer's been released as well.
Holy shino.
Okay, number 8.
Blitz.
It's an Apple original film. Any idea what it is?
That's all we got to say about that.
I mean, I'll be honest, the clue's kind of in the title, but in World War II London, 9-year-old Georgie is evacuated to the countryside by his mother Rita to escape the bombings.
Rita Ora.
Defiant and determined to return to his family, George embarks on his journey back home as Rita searches for him.
Oh,
Number 7, Smile 2. Much better than you think it is.
it is.
And
And I'm
number-
glad it's still in the top 10.
Just quickly on that Blitz one, the music is by Hans Zimmer.
Oh, is it?
There you go, I knew that would pique his interest. Carry on.
Number 6, Small Things Like These, which is the...
Heart-wrenching, Cillian
Florence-
Murphy.
Oh, is it?
Yes, a heart-wrenching... What is it?
Maybe I got it wrong. What is it?
I think it's a heart-wrenching Cillian Murphy movie
Oh, okay.
set in Ireland, and the things that are going on in monasteries, etc.
He is
think that's what
correct.
it is. Thank you very much.
Set in
But there's
1985.
small things.
I was listening to Nicky last week.
Oh, I clearly wasn't.
Wild Robots.
Number 5, The Wild Robot.
Yes,
That's that animated one.
it is. It looks
Which
beautiful.
I keep promising to see. I just haven't had time to go see everything I want to see.
I know.
Number 4, Venom: The Last Dance. The colon did its thing again.
It did indeed, and I'm glad it's the last film. To be honest with you, it's done its thing now.
Okay,
That's my thought.
excellent. 3, Heretic.
Heretic. I went to see that again this weekend.
Are we going to re-review? Are we going to have a backtrack? Are we going to have a little?
We are.
Resurmise.
I'm going to resurmise it, and I'm going to give a return review because I also dragged my good friend Ed to go and see it with me as well.
Oh, did you?
Yes,
Okay, cool,
indeed.
perfect. Number 2 is Red One.
Yes. Now I refuse to watch this until December 1st because it's a Christmas film.
Okay,
But
I think if I'm because we've been doing this podcast for over a year now. I think we had a discussion about you watching a Christmas movie every day in December.
That's correct.
And there is a beginning. There's ones which are allowed at the beginning, and I think you start with
Die Hard.
No,
Nightmare Before
Nightmare Before Christmas.
No, that's
because
before
it's-
Christmas. That's before
That's
December
the day
1st.
before.
That's the day
Because
before.
it's a blend between Halloween and
Yeah.
Christmas.
That's correct.
So okay, fine, okay.
So Red One is it's got Lucy Liu and The Rock in it, and it says
Dwayne.
when a villain kidnaps Santa Claus from the North Pole, an elf, which means extremely large and formidable, operative joins forces with the world's most accomplished tracker to find him and save Christmas.
And do you know
Wow,
who's
that's
and
slightly tenuous,
do
isn't
you
it?
know who's playing Father Christmas?
No.
Not my tempo. Not my tempo.
Oh, is it?
It's him.
Oh, fantastic.
Yes.
So it's
indeed.
an action comedy that's 2 hours and 3 minutes long.
Shit a mo.
Yeah, that's a lot for kids, isn't it?
It's got Wesley Kimmel.
Yep.
It's got Chris Evans, Dwayne Johnson.
Not Chris Evans from Marlowe.
No.
The other one.
Yeah,
The
the
other
other
one.
one.
You talk about Marlowe all the time.
He does.
And Lucy Liu and
Our one.
a few other well-known faces.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I think Paddington's 2 hours and 3 minutes as well, isn't it?
I think you're right.
Wait for the review.
Number 1, Paddington in Peru.
Paddington in Peru by Studio Canal.
Yeah, which we both went to see this week,
We did.
and we'll be giving you our review upon.
Absolutely. So, there you go. And I'll be chasing Tucker TV for a review of Paddington as well.
So that is this week's review in the UK and Ireland up until the 11th of November 2024. Thank you.
Let's get all official.
No.
That was,
Should we crack on?
that
We
was
should.
tidy, wasn't it?
That was tidy.
That was proper
I think we should do
tidy.
Paddington first, and then I believe we are going to be reviewing a film that's not even in the top 10 at the moment. Peter, would you like to let know our producer what films we are reviewing this week, so the producer can tell us what order to do it in?
Oh, right, okay. So
We
we're
just
going to...
said start with Paddington.
I know, but I'm just giving you the.
He's just giving me a tiny
Sorry,
little
Peter.
bit of authority. Just a tiny bit, and then he's going to interrupt me at the end and
Yeah.
finish it. So we're going to start
No,
with
no.
Paddington in Peru. And then I went to see a preview of Conclave,
You did.
or Conclave.
Conclave. Is it
Yeah,
Conclave?
It's Conclave.
It is Conclave,
But I just
yeah.
want to call it Conclave.
Conclave.
Yeah.
Conclave.
And then I think in between those two, you should be the filling of that sandwich with a tiny little like backtrack on Heretic.
I think you're right. So, Nicky, what order would you like to do these in?
Did I not just do that order?
He
No,
literally
Nicky,
just did it.
The producer's in charge.
This is
Well, then I'm going with
repetition.
what Peter just said.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay.
Right.
Paddington in Peru.
Paddington in Peru. Paddington in Peru, the beloved bear embarks on a heartfelt journey. Doesn't he just?
Oh, is that it?
That's it.
Okay, well, thanks, guys.
Yeah. So he's settled in with the Brown family in the third instalment of
Yep.
the Paddington trilogy.
Kids are growing up a bit.
Kids have grown up a bit. Wife's changed
Yeah.
a bit.
And
Different actor completely.
the daughter is off looking at universities.
That's correct.
And the
and-
son is basically obsessed by tech in his bedroom.
And he's inventing things to make life a little bit easier for himself in his own bedroom.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's basically like living in my house, is
Yeah,
what it is.
exactly so. So So everything's a little bit sort of low key. The mum's a little bit sad that the family aren't interacting as much as they used to be in the past.
Yeah.
Would like very much like modern families.
Absolutely right.
There's a lovely mirror to everybody's family at home when they go.
Dad's struggling at work because
Yes.
they've been taken over by an American.
That's right.
company
He's been threatened by younger sort of go-getting sort of members of staff wanting to jump into his boots.
Yes.
That sort of thing. So during this moment of reflection upon their lives, they receive a message from Peru, read beautifully by the amazing Olivia Colman. And you were introduced to. I was under the impression, looking at the trailer, I thought, we won't see her for ages and ages and ages. You literally see Olivia Colman within the first 10 minutes of the movie starting, which lit my heart with joy. Because I thought to myself, she's here. It's amazing, and she literally takes over the entire screen with her sheer presence. She's absolutely beautiful. So she's the mother superior, writing from Peru, and she runs a fantastic location for the bear retirement. What's it called? It's called the Bear Retirement Home.
It's the home for aged bears or something like that,
retired
isn't
bears.
it? Yeah.
That's right. Which I love that concept. The fact that bears just go, I don't want to be a bear anymore now.
Yeah.
I'm going to go and retire.
Do some knitting.
Exactly.
Read a newspaper.
So Olivia Colman's character, the Mother Superior, explains in her letter writing that Paddington's auntie. Aunt Lucy is acting very peculiar and very, very sad and missing Paddington.
Yeah.
So they also so for several different reasons, every single member of the family find an excuse to reason why they should go to Peru with Paddington to go and cheer Aunt Lucy.
Absolutely right.
And that's pretty much it, really.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it.
Shall we go?
Yeah.
No, let's not go. So to me, this is obviously it starts off with a very traditional setup, normal Paddington setup. Ben, who does the voice of Paddington? Ben Shaw. He's absolutely amazing in that. I felt that there was no magic lost with Paddington himself as a character, the way he spoke and the way that he was portrayed.
I do struggle a little bit with the voice.
Do you?
Yeah, because it's a long time, and it is a very, very specific tone and voice and the way that he speaks. And I must admit, I do find it a little bit troublesome.
Do you?
I do a little bit.
What? Is it like for your
annoying.
old age?
Yeah, I find it a bit annoying.
What did he say? What is he whispering?
The voice and the bear to me don't match.
I disagree.
Yeah, that's fair enough. It's subjective, this review malarkey. We've kind of done that.
Yeah, exactly.
But I would say that the animation in this is absolutely sensational.
It is.
And like the opening scene, I think, is the jungle with Paddington looking at a little dream sequence, isn't it? And the fur on Paddington, and Paddington as a character, and his expressions, and the forestry that he moves from, all of it is just absolutely mesmerisingly amazing.
I agree.
And the fact that he's not. Yeah, he's not an actor. He's an animation added afterwards.
Right.
I mean, the interaction between him and the other characters is seamless. It's brilliant.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you completely. So they set out to surprise Aunt Lucy in Peru.
Yeah.
And they first arrive in Peru, and their first job is to find a boat to go down the river to find out where Paddington used to live.
Yes.
Yes, is that right?
Well, we're kind of forgetting the fact that there's a mystery element to this film as to why they have to go on an adventure.
Well, initially, it's basically just going to cheer up Aunt Lucy, aren't they? Initially.
Does that bit happen before? Because I talked about this earlier on, didn't I? The fact that sometimes I kind of forget
exactly.
the plot.
So initially they go to find Aunt Lucy, and then Aunt Lucy is not there, and then they go on the real adventure after that.
Oh, I thought they found the boat after she went missing.
I think you might be right.
Yeah.
Anyway, either way, I think you're right.
For all of you not watching on YouTube, I'm pulling a funny face at James.
He is indeed.
Oh, I thought that was just you smiling.
So, for me personally, Hugh Bonnevant plays a fantastic dad.
He's so cool.
He's
brilliant.
He's your quintessential British, slightly bumbling, very, very amenable, lovely, lovely dad. And
the
whole film is you mentioned this before, the whole film is incredibly polite. No matter what happens in the movie, there are going to be some dark elements in this movie, there are going to be some baddies, there's going to be some goodies. But everybody is incredibly polite. It is like, to me, it is like the famous five are going to Peru.
It absolutely is. And I think the whole of this film, from start to finish, is just classic kids' film storytelling.
Yes.
And I don't think they veer from that at all in this. I think they literally have done a pretty much painting by numbers format for a kids movie.
Yeah, I agree. Before we go on to the dark, before we go on what we liked about what we didn't like it, I still think it was a little bit too long. I think the length of it was a little bit too long.
James, how long was it?
It was 2 hours and 2 minutes, I think.
Yeah, I think it was. It was
something like that.
Just over 2 hours.
Yeah, exactly.
It was a bit long, and it could have been trimmed,
yes,
without a doubt. And I don't think you would have lost anything.
Not at all.
With a bit of trimmage.
No.
And
sorry. Carry on.
I just thought there is a classic baddie in it.
Of course it is.
And there's a little bit of twistage, and there was no shocks, there was no great surprises.
Yes.
To me, the releasing of this film this close to Christmas is no surprise.
But it's a Wonka, isn't it?
It's a panto.
Yes.
I mean, this whole thing is he's behind you.
Is this season's version of Wonka? Right? Last year we had Wonka. This year we've got Paddington.
Absolutely.
However, I don't think it's got the gravitas that Wonka had last year. It's a third instalment. It's not as strong as the first two, I don't think. I think that Banderas was fantastic in it. I think he was a really good added moment.
Are you a betting man?
Ooh.
I bet you.
Yes.
£1 English pound.
Yes.
That Paddington does not leave that position 1 spot until January.
I disagree.
Done. That's the bet.
Pound. That's a pound. Okay, there we go. So, there's a lot going on between now and January. Don't worry about that. So, I feel that it's a massively star-studded presentation of the third instalment of the Paddington trilogy.
And cameo-mongous.
Yeah, there
were so many just like little tiny one-line cameos of if you're into your comedy and your podcast and all that type of malarkey, you'll just think, it's like that. Yeah.
No, it worked. That part worked really, really well. But I still stand by my first, sentiment that it just didn't have the magic, and I felt it was some parts of it were a little bit clunky, and I felt like some of the editing was a little bit clunky, and I felt that. Saying all that though, I did cry.
Yeah.
I did cry twice during the movie. There's 2 points in it where it really pulls on the heartstrings, and it works really, really well. But yet again, going back to my original statement, Olivia Colman is a dream. And every time she's on the screen, she just takes over completely, and I'm in awe of her.
Yeah, but you've got Antonio Banderas, and you've got all of these different actors in there. Hugh Bonneville. I mean, they all do their jobs absolutely perfectly in this. I mean, I would say that it's not the greatest bit of script writing on the entire planet. However, for a kids movie, sorry guys, I apologise. You don't think it's a kids movie. In my opinion, a movie which is supposed to be made for kids, to be running over 2 hours, I didn't feel uncomfortable in it. I didn't feel bored in it. I thought it rolled really nicely through everything, and I thought actually it was really charming. There was not much about this movie that would be my choice of film to go and see, but it pleasantly surprised me.
Yeah,
what I got.
agree. Film references.
Go on, this is your element.
Film references. Okay, so
Paddington 1, Paddington 2.
Yeah.
Film references up.
Yes.
There's definitely heartfelt moments.
It's Disney.
And I've seen Up. I know. I was trying to work the comparison out.
So for me, it's that journey. It is it pulls on the same heartstrings. Squirrel, yeah, exactly. However, Jungle Cruise is a prime inspiration for the
Never
movie.
seen it.
You've never seen it.
No.
Jungle Cruise is basically it's another Disney movie. It's got Emily Blunt, and it's also got Dwayne Johnson.
Well, there we go.
Exactly, and they're going down the Amazon River. on a boat which is almost identical to the Paddington boat, and they're looking for a lost treasure. And exactly, it does what it says on the tin. It's Jungle Cruise, and to me, if you like Paddington, you would like Jungle Cruise as well. And then finally, The Sound of Music.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. There was a little pastiche to
It's
The Sound
the
of
most
Music.
beautiful. And what I love about that moment is that they don't over-egg it, because they go on and on and on, and they just give you that snippet. You go, and she go, she's gonna sing, and you go, and that really caught my little heart fluttering.
Do you know what? I think this is enough in it to make it a good film.
So I've put down overall, didn't quite reach the heights of its predecessors. It still offers a delightful, whimsical experience that enforces the importance of family and belonging, making it a worthy contribution to the Paddington adventures.
Yeah, I've got. It's just decent.
Good. Scores
7.1.
Yeah,
it's
there
just that's where it is. It's
Nicky, would you like to give us any goose, any insights, or any bits of information that we perhaps missed?
Okay. Did you notice anything about any of the stamps?
Ooh.
No.
On the letters?
No.
And with all of the king.
Yes. King Charles.
Was it King Charles, though?
I think it was.
Oh, well, according to my source, the author of Paddington, Michael Bond, appears as a stamp.
Oh, right, okay.
See.
Yeah.
We'll have to look at that.
There was something in it where I went, that's King Charles. And I did.
Oh, and I'll tell you what is beautiful. When you go to Paddington's room, and there's a photograph of him with the Queen having tea, because obviously that's beautiful. I love that moment. That's a really lovely moment.
The end of my sentence was quite beautiful as well, but you will never get to know what that was.
No, I never do. I never do, though, do I?
Ben Whishaw and Emily Mortimer. So Emily Mortimer is the one who played the mum.
Yes.
And obviously Ben is the one who does the voice of Paddington. Played brother and sister in a movie recently in 2018.
Wasn't that the one about the flower?
No. It was Emily Blunt was also in it. It was Mary Poppins Returns.
Oh, do you know what? I haven't seen it.
I haven't either.
I haven't seen it.
And Olivia Colman and Imelda Staunton both played Queen Elizabeth II on the television series The Crown. Mm-hmm. Colman in season 3 and 4, and Staunton in 5 and 6.
Huh.
And this film was actually announced before Paddington 2 began even filming or casting.
Wow. Yeah, with that confidence after Paddington 1.
And actually, it was, according to my source, which is IMDb, it was actually only 1 hour 46.
Oh, really?
Maybe it was Conclave, that was 2 hours and 2 minutes.
Maybe that's what it was.
Let me check. Yeah.
And it's not publicly known the reason that Emily Mortimer replaced Sally Hawkins as the role of the mother.
That was mentioned to me by a few friends who said it's a shame that she wasn't in it, but who knows? Who knows?
But are you about to give us a spoiler and tell us what happened?
No, it's not publicly known.
I just thought you might have some inside knowledge.
Personally.
I get bettering. Anyway, so that is Paddington in Peru.
Yeah, it was
Number one
better than I was expecting.
Really?
Yeah.
You see, it's opposite to me.
Yeah, but you were giddy.
I was so excited. Anyway, don't put things on a pedestal, that's what I say. Over to you, Peter.
James, why don't you tell us about Heretic?
Oh, that's a very good shout, actually. So obviously last week, Peter and I went to see Heretic, and we reviewed it on last week's episode. And we both liked it, and we
gave it 8.6.
We give it. Isn't that quite handy? We gave it an 8.6, which is pretty much in the middle of our scoreboard, actually.
Yeah.
Definitely a film worth watching. However, I was struggling with the end.
Yeah.
And I actually I mentioned this.
Okay, you did, yeah.
And I mentioned this in last week's review.
And I didn't have an issue with the end.
And I felt that it got a little bit sluggish in the third act before the fourth act, and I felt a little bit disappointed, a little bit hard done by. In reflection, after watching it again, however, that all disappeared.
Okay, good.
And I thoroughly enjoyed it. However, the ambiguity of the ending is even more intense the second time you watch it. Mm-hmm. For instance, I was giving you different scenarios. Was she real? Was she not real? Was she dead? Was she not dead?
Yeah.
Did she really escape? And so on and so forth. And added to that, you have the statement at the end after the blackout about the renounce of AI and the fact that there was no AI within this movie, and that to me was also a reflection upon the end of the actual physical movie itself. However, once you got to point out to you, and this might spoil things. So if you haven't watched it yet, put your hand over your ears. When the character comes out at the very end of the movie, the ground is covered with snow.
Yeah.
The night before it was
raining,
slashing down with rain.
Yeah. That
to me set off alarm bells that it was real or not real.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
That to me, because it just wouldn't physically happen.
Yeah.
But saying that, I would like to increase my score. What score did I physically give it last week?
I don't have it on me.
I would like to give it an 8.9.
Okay.
So we'll come back to that.
I can have a look. I don't know if I should put it on.
Okay, so that's going to make it an 8.8 on the board.
It might do.
Yeah.
Well, Nicky will come back to us on that. However, you went to see this. You went to the cinema.
Yeah, and I'm really interested in you saying that because there is something which I'm concerned about doing my review this week.
Yes.
Of Conclave.
Right.
And the issue that I've got is I think I went into the cinema to see this. I think I went to see it in a really bad mood, and I think this might really have tainted my enjoyment of this film.
This is good though, because that means we can get two different perspectives when I go and see it.
And you saying that about The Heretic, I found really interesting because I felt that you came out of Heretic wanting it to be something maybe slightly different to what it was, and I thought your review last week of it was a bit grumpy, if I'm totally honest with you. And I thought the ending, the way you described the ending was. I didn't agree with it. Okay, and I know we're allowed to disagree.
Absolutely.
We've discussed that a million times.
We have.
And so so last week, and then you saying that has made me really interested. So I watched The Conclave, and this has got, a cast list I'm to dream for. So Ray Fiennes plays Father Lawrence, Stanley Tucci plays Father Bellini, John Lithgow plays Father Tremblay, Lucien, I can't pronounce that. Can I ask a dyslexic to say that? Mesmati, I think is as good as we're going to get. He's starring in it. It's literally name after name after name. And Isabella Rossellini, and so every single actor in this
with gravitas.
It is a bit of an acting cock-off.
I can imagine.
It is a bit of a showcase of who is the best thesp upon us.
Yeah.
And
it reminds me of the cast for Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy.
Yeah, and I looked at it and Stanley Tucci can do no wrong in my eyes. Ray Fiennes can do no wrong in my eyes. Some of the other actors I'm not particularly fussed about, but they've all done massive things, and they all come together for this, this epic film. And basically we're looking at the story of the current Pope passing, and the the election of a replacement Pope, basically.
That's when the white smoke comes out, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So when they haven't voted with a successful outcome, black smoke comes out the chimney. When they have decided who is going to be the new Pope, white smoke comes out. That's it. So this is based on a novel by Robert Harris from 2016. And I can imagine this being a pretty average airport novel that you'd buy on your holiday. And again, what's the author we were talking about? Dan Brown.
Yes.
It's a very Dan Brownish kind of scenario and plot. And I think actually Dan Brown did do a book based on this papal election process. I just found that so basically from the offset, the story and the plot is basically suggesting that there's not really many totally clean bishops out there, and no one's really worthy of
being the Pope.
Right. And so right from the offset, I was just like, oh, this is just, I'm not religious and I don't care, but I know it's an incredibly important thing to an awful lot of people. Yeah. And this just felt a bit of a religion is rubbish and everyone's a dirty pervert, or they've done something in their past, and so basically the story is that the Pope passes away, and then there is a suggestion that one of the electorate was the night before he passed away was the last meeting that the Pope had, and he was sacked by the Pope the day before he passed away, and that was the last meeting that happened.
Yeah.
But there was no evidence of this. There was no sign of this. Anyway, so we go into pretty much like a 4-pope race, and then this is how the story of all of this, kind of comes to pass. Miraculously, at the beginning of the film, when all of the bishops are coming together, there's a new pope. There's a new bishop. Sorry, that no one's ever heard about, and he's kind of introduced us. He's not. He's what is he called? I've forgotten. Oh, anyway, it doesn't matter. You'll see it when you see the film. But he is a pope that was he was working in all of the dangerous areas where Christianity is not basically.
Peru.
He brought a bareback with him.
And but lo and behold, he kind of seems to be the clean, heartfelt, sensible one of all of them amongst them. And we kind of follow this journey to the election of a new pope.
Okay.
And you
don't sound that excited about it.
I just wasn't excited about it at all. I thought it really lacked plot, and I just thought, okay, Ray Fiennes does a beautiful diatribe to camera. There's wonderful interactions between all of the different popes, and why one should do something and why one shouldn't. Yeah. And there's references to racism and popal naughtiness and all you
behind
see
the
where I'm
doors,
going with
touching,
this.
that sort of thing.
It's just a bit backbitey and a bit shit kicking, and I just kind of thought, I don't know this needed to be made, to be totally honest with you. It's just like
interesting point of view.
Everyone has this kind of opinion about religion and and whatever, and it's an important thing to a lot of people. So maybe we should just let it go.
Interesting.
I just found it really. I thought the acting was great. I thought the characterization was great. I thought the cinematography was great. 2 hours gone like that.
Right.
There's nothing. It's just.
Nothing you put your finger on, but
it's just a disappointing film.
Wow.
And I thought the screenplay was poor. I thought the plot was really poor. I didn't think there was anything original about it. I thought the ending was really quite disbelievable, and I just thought, what, this could have been a great film. It's got a wonderful cast, but I just felt really disappointed.
Okay. Well, that's an interesting thing. I like the review. Thank you very much.
I wanted it to be something much more than that, because looking at the trailers and everything, I thought it was great. But as I said, I didn't go in a great mood. Came out in a worse one.
Well,
6.7.
6.7. But that's a fair score for you, I think. 6.7.
Yeah, I mean, it's not I hate it and the shit. It's just disappointing. It just could have been a cracker, and it just wasn't.
Well, hopefully, I'll add a little bit of sunshine to that review when I go and see it in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah, well, or maybe not. But I mean,
that's
my honest critique of what I saw, and and I just came out thinking, I wonder if that was a me problem rather than the film problem. So I really look forward to hearing what you've got to say about it.
Thank you very much. Nicky, what extra information do you have for us?
Peter, did you read out the tagline?
No.
So the tagline is, "What happens behind these walls will change everything." Interestingly. It's based on the 2016 novel by Robert Harris.
Yep.
Filming took place from January 23 to March 23 in Rome, Italy, and some scenes were shot at Rome's Cinecittà Studios, and this is the third time that the Sistine Chapel set was built at the Cinecittà Studios outside of Rome for a feature film.
It does look a bit setty. It does look a bit fake, and that really irritated me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the first two were for Agony and the Ecstasy, which is a 1965 film about the creation and construction of the same Sistine Chapel, and in 1969 for Shoes of the Fisherman, which I thought was quite interesting.
Yeah.
In the novel, Rafe Fiennes' character is actually Cardinal Lomelli.
Yes. Now, Sophie, my wife, was explaining to me before, because we were going to see this film. They made a decision. The director made a decision to keep everybody's native accent to themselves.
Yeah.
So that meant that each pope, although they may have come in the original story in the book, they may have come from different parts of the world, Italy, Spain, and so on and so forth. Although they brought in actors from different parts of the world, they were allowed to keep their own accent, so their names were changed.
Oh, to fit their accents?
To reflect their accents.
Oh, okay, yeah, and one of the things described in the film is the fact that these bishops are coming from all over the world.
Yeah, which is fair enough. So, and hopefully the changing of location didn't ruin the plot for you.
No, that wasn't what were in the plot.
Okay.
I've got 2 more quick facts. This is Carlos Deheses, who plays Benitez.
Yeah.
It's his first major film appearance, having only appeared previously in 2 short student films. He was an architect by profession up until 2020, when his last child left home and decided to pursue a new interest by taking online acting classes and going for auditions.
My God, so in 2020 he was doing online acting auditions.
Yeah.
And in 2024 he's starring with Stanley Tucci and
Yeah.
River. I mean, there's hope for all of us.
Yeah, absolutely right.
If you think about
Well,
it.
Yeah.
And the last one,
That's quite inspiring.
the word conclave is derived from Latin,
Yes.
Conclave. Meaning a place that can be locked up, or com, which means together, and clavis, which means key.
I just remembered a really annoying bit, but I'll go back to that.
Okay, right. So there you have it. So that's your score.
Yeah.
Is
6.7.
6.7. So it's not even going to get onto the board.
No.
I don't think it's getting on the board next week, mate.
I don't think it may do, may not.
What did you say your heretic score was being changed to?
8.8 or 8.9.
8.9.
8.9?
Yeah.
Okay, you were 8.5 last time.
So you add Peter's mind to get rid of mine, and then
Thanks for explaining maths.
no, it's not because I think Peter was adding mine to it.
8.5, 8.7, 8.9 divided by 3.
8.8.
That's what I said.
8.8.
So it will need to be moved, and I
will need
guess
to be
Well,
moved.
sorry, Nicky, what will need to be moved?
the score.
Well, what do you mean moved?
Well, James needs to explain, or you can.
What are we moving it on? Shall we explain?
You can explain.
I'll explain. So,
God, we'll be here hours.
So James has gone out and he's bought some Top Gear.
That's correct, exactly. So, being
Other car shows are available.
Other car shows are available. After being inspired by a car show, over the last 12 months, obviously, we've been reviewing shows, and we thought it was really important to show our reviewing and to show the numbers, and also to illustrate to people what we think our top 10 or top 20, what our top 20 films are over the last 12 months. And the beauty of this podcast is that it can change continuously, because if we step back to our old films and look at another film, we can add new scores to it. And obviously when we're looking at new films, that's going to push things around a little bit as well. But we're also encouraging people to get in contact with their scores of films on our list, and this is the list.
Oh yeah, so if someone disagrees, that they can move it on the list.
Exactly.
Ah, boom. Do you want me to move?
Just head over to YouTube to have a look and see what we're talking about.
So there you go. On YouTube, you will see a fantastic list of films that we're going. So I'm going to give you a list of the top 5 or 6 that we've got on. So number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So at number 5, we've got Joker 2 at 9.2.
Folie à deux.
Folie à deux. And number 4, we've got One Life at 9.2. At number 3, we've got June 2 at 9.3. And at number 2, we've got There Will Be Blood at 9.9. And number 1 is Prisoners at 10.
There we go.
There you go. So there you have it. This is our top 10. This is our top 20 score sheet. Let us know if you'd like to change any of the scores on this with your score.
Well, you can't just change them.
Well, not change them. You can add to it.
Well, no, they can give us a score.
Do us a review. Give us a score, and you can amend our top 20.
And there you have it. So, should we add our reviews now?
We'll do it afterwards.
Yeah, let's do it afterwards. Okay, right, there you go.
Otherwise, it'll just be me sat there.
Yeah, sorry about that. Okay, so that's a little bit disjointed. I do apologise to everybody listening on the podcast, but I thought it was important to get that out there. So,
You've been dying to do that for
now.
weeks.
I've been dying to do it for weeks. Now, Peter and I have sadly had our homework eaten by our dogs, and we are going to sit on a naughty step.
Yeah, and we're going to do it next week.
Wrists slapped, and we will definitely watch our homework next week. So you'll be watching Audition, and I'm going to be watching
Perfect Days.
Perfect Days, and we'll be reviewing that.
Did you not finish Mads?
Films.
He's got double homework.
He's got
Sorry,
double
James.
Films at the cinema for next week.
Yeah, what's on?
I've got nothing booked at the moment, so it'll be a surprise.
Gladiator 2 out yet?
I think Gladiator 2 is on the cards.
Yeah.
My
dad wants to come.
I'm mildly terrified of Gladiator 2. I will not lie. I have
We'll film them war!
No. Let us know if you're going to go to see Gladiator 2. We'd love to go to see this film with you at the cinema so we can review it together.
Yeah, come along.
It's actually out tomorrow on Friday.
Perfect. That's absolutely perfect timing. Wonderful.
Shit, that was good.
It's
Seamless.
Exactly. Peter, would you like to prepare us out?
We're there already.
No. How do people get in touch with us?
There you go. That's why she's a producer. That's why she gets the big bucks.
You're not allowed to get in touch with us or leave your reviews. You just have to listen to us.
Yeah, that's it. And then, so you can leave a little comment at the bottom of our YouTube video.
You can.
You can contact us on Instagram.
You can.
You can contact us on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And if you download our podcast, when you're on the episode, there is a message us button. And if you click that button, we'll get a text message from you.
Yep.
But it won't tell us who you are. So put a little who you are at the bottom.
That's lovely.
And then we'll read out your reviews.
Perfect. Now, obviously, those of us who know us personally, would you like to please get in contact with us in reference to any films you've seen over the last couple of weeks? It may change the scoreboard.
Paddington.
Yes.
Top 1.
Yes.
Till next year.
I disagree.
Wow.
I disagree. I think it's going to be popped off the charts next. I'm giving it 3 weeks.
So what a Kiddie Winkle's going to go?
Oh, they're still in the top 10, but it's
number 1.
There you go. Is that it?
This is the new Inside Out 2.
I think so, yeah.
That's it now. Over to you, Peter.
I changed the melody.
You did.
I don't quite like it.
Really freaked me out.
Yeah, I know. You looked really confused.
Yes. Popcorn Pundits.
I can give you a classic.
Week 55.
Yep.